Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome for another episode for another gamerswecare show here tonight with Jeff Gagne. I'm so very pleased to have tonight this guest here. So, hello, everyone. Hello, Jeff.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
I would like to welcome Jeff, by the way, and I would like to say a few words about you so we have a context about who I'm sitting here with today. So, Jeff, guys, he started 2005 already for Ubisoft as a video game tester in Canada, and only 1 year later, you managed to achieve being a game level designer. So, and you started there also at Ubisoft. And I think what you love the most is creating open worlds. You started with Warcraft 2 over Assassin's Creed and then up to Battlefield 5. Therefore, you also moved to Sweden, to Stockholm, and you have a big heart for everything around Vikings. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
And now the most important part, you like carving.
Yes, also. I love
Where
it.
is that?
I have no idea. I love wood. It's kind of cool. I don't know. It's kind of great to it's cool to create something out of your hand and the texture. It's just like it's relaxing. It's one of these things that you just do. It's not like playing games or anything. Like it's obviously I do that, but it's stressful most of the time depending on the game. But carving it's always relaxing. Always. You just do the thing and the sound of it and the smell of it and yeah, it's a cool thing to relax.
Interesting part is you're not doing it by yourself. I mean, you're doing it on Twitch.
So yeah, I haven't streamed for quite some time now, but yes, I also do that on stream sometime. I was like, yeah, why not? Why not?
So,
Like,
so it's like meditational basically for you. What
yeah.
other people do, like, I mean, it's a whole process, right? You're going out to the woods. You get your wood sometimes yourself if you don't buy it, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And just
absolutely. It happened. It happened sometime. It's just like there's all different type of wood and different hardness, and then sometimes I just yeah, let's go get a dead tree and carve something out of it. I never cut a live tree though.
really love about that when you started that, I thought like that's interesting. I mean, when I saw you before, like on Twitch, you were what I saw before, you were mostly streaming about like level design and gaming, and stuff like that, right? And then you switched to that, and it basically opened basically my world about Twitch, where I mean I know people were streaming other things, but I don't know, it kind of wasn't real for me till I met you, and I actually really enjoyed just joining your streams. It actually was meditational for me as well, kind of, you had this like nice music on there, it was communication back and forth, and it felt like a group of friends is like meeting again on Twitch. So it gave me something as well. I really like it when you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I was not. It's another part of Twitch that I was also not aware because I started streaming that, and there was like this whatever category that is crafting or like art and crafting or something like this. And there's that guy in the UK who rated my stream at some point, and I saw that he was also a wood carver, and then I saw that like there was like all these people who paint miniatures, and the people doing music, and the people doing like blacksmithing, and like there's all these other part of Twitch that is absolutely not video game related. I was kind of happy that I was just put alone.
Educational, right? It's
Yes.
kind of educational as well, and I think this is more and more a thing actually on Twitch, where people actually enjoy. Like
Absolutely.
finding things where they can improve, right?
But if you want to get something done, streaming it is not good.
Why?
It's just like it takes like I'm able to carve a little face in like 30 minutes when I do it by myself, but then on stream it takes like 2.5 hours because I talk with people.
Yes, and I always ask her, can you show another camera? Can you show?
Yes.
Yeah, let me just finish this one face.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this is the cool thing about, we can basically create it with you. At least I feel a bit like that.
Yeah.
I really like that you're doing that. But the way you're right now at Ubisoft, I couldn't even find out. Can you even talk about like which project are you working on right now?
Absolute secret.
Okay, no problem. I didn't know. I was like, wait, I don't even know what he's working on right now. We never talked about it, even
Nobody
though
knows
in the screen, like that's totally fine. But I'm really looking forward to see what you're working on, though. Let's wait for that.
Yes, you will have to wait.
if you can describe in your own words, like how would you describe your way from 2005 to now? Like I know you always say like this is not a usual way to go as a game level designer from there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I obviously starting in the industry in 2005 was really different, and now, especially back home in Quebec, in Quebec City, there was not that many people who wanted to work in the industry and everything. Like, I really hate the word luck because I don't consider myself lucky to be where I am now. I work for it, but I was lucky to be there at that time, basically when I started. Um, because Ubisoft just opened in June, and then my cousin was like, "Hey, there's a video game company. They're looking for someone for some video game testers, and you should apply." Like he applied too. Sadly, I got the job and not him. But thanks to him, that's probably why I'm in Sweden now, 15 years later. But yeah, so I got the job and everything, and I was lucky to be there at the right time. I was lucky that there was a guy who was looking for level designer 10 months later, and he was like, I became friends with him before, and we drank together and we had parties together and stuff, and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for level designers." I had no idea what was a level designer. I had literally no idea. And I was like, "What? You can get paid to make maps? This is so cool." I've been, like you said, I started with Warcraft 2 like in 1996 or something, 1998. So I had some sort of an interview that was not really an interview, and I became a level designer, and then I climbed my way from there. Switch companies, switch everything. Then I had a burnout in 2017, I think. So I was just like, okay, let's find something else. I thought about leaving the industry at that point, but then I was like, maybe if it didn't really work at one company, it doesn't mean that I can't work in the industry anymore. So I applied at different companies, and then I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go to Sweden. And that's why I ended up in Sweden. And I'm having a blast here right now. And that's basically 15 years later. So my parkour is a bit different, I guess, because like I said, it was easier in 2005 to get into the industry, and they were literally hiring anyone. I was literally anyone. And that worked out for me. It doesn't really work like that anymore because we hire, I don't know, let's say 100 people per whatever season out of, I don't know, 2,000 or whatever, random numbers. So it's not as easy as it was before.
What changed from now to that time? Besides that, the hiring was very easy. Like, what kind of qualities do you have to bring now instead of?
Oh, well, you have to be like, it's sort of what I always say. Like you have to be really really good at what you do now. I'm not saying that like back in the days you didn't have to be good or anything, but it's like we have so much choice now in the industry in terms of like people we can hire. We will just take the best one because obvious reason. So it's just like whatever you do, you have to be either super super good at it, have good connections. Sadly, I mean that can work, or be like different in a way. Do something special. Have this little cool thing, that can bring something new to the company. For example, an experience that is related but not at the same time. When I was looking for level designer, when I was lead on Assassin's Creed Black Flag, if someone had like architecture or visual composition or something that is sort of related to design or not, it's a big plus, obviously, because you can bring something else. Back in the days, like I said, especially back home where I'm from, there was no school, there was no like way of learning how to make games or anything, so it was just like a bunch of people who were like, oh yeah, I was doing that thing, or like I used to work at the government to make like 3D stuff for buildings and infrastructures, and these people could move into games, for example. I work with these type of artist, for example. But now it's just like there's so many schools, there's so many ways to learn. There's all the internet stuff. You can self-learn. You can like there's a lot of competition in the industry now, obviously.
If you could get, if you would talk to a student, like whatever you see, like wants to be after, what could you give him as an advice, like before he enters the real world?
That's a good question. Video game is hard. People need to get there with an open mind. It's not easy, but it's fun. Also, it's young. Not get too attached to your stuff because video game get cancels, video game get changed. Video game is an iterative process. So, get there with an open mind and be more than happy to change your things really often because that happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. By the way, while you're saying that, like, it reminds me a little bit of this. Isn't there this issue, like, when you're developing games, that most of the time, like, it's your baby, and when it comes down to, well, this game is just not a success, and they, like Battlefield 5, for example, when they said like they wouldn't work anymore in that game. I mean, you have to let go, right? On a point.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the first mistake that people make probably, I mean, I speak as a designer, is to consider their design to be their baby or something like that. Because it's like I said, it's like video game is an iterative process, and your baby gets smashed around really quickly all the time because whatever the design you have, whatever first idea you have, it will change anyway. And yes, you have to let go. You don't have to take anything personal, obviously. As devs, now with social media, we interact more and more with fans and gamers in general. And there's the good side, which is always fun, but there's also the bad side and the trolls, and, the haters or whatever. They can be justified or not. That's not the question here. But like, you have to grow a thick skin. You don't have to take everything personal. They're not talking about you yourself as a dev. It's like all these things. So it's way better if you just distance yourself from the product that you're making. It's a product after all.
Yeah, I think it's funny because because you said it, like Twitter, for example, when everyone is like, very often I see this thing where people are hating or messaging, devs here. When right now I have the feeling that more and more devs are actually on Twitter and join Twitter and are more active on Twitter as well. So people assume basically, like, let's say they're a dev for Battlefield 5, that they're automatically working on their issue, like, and messaging them like in the open, like, look here in my video, this and that is not working. Can you please fix it? And my first thought is like, how do you even know this dude is working on your problem? And I mean, also, it's most of the time it's their private Twitter account. It's not your personal, platform to ask anything from them. And so there's a question: are they so? Is it maybe, are they so desperate that they feel they can't talk to nobody, so they go just openly to randomly people because they see they can?
People
Is it
don't.
maybe also a problem for the companies, so they don't give like to enough communication channels, or is it just a thing that we live in a society where everyone can talk to anyone and we use it?
Well, I mean, it's like it's a lot of facets. Obviously, companies can't talk about everything because that's just how it is. Like, companies are, there's a lot of people who deal with the money and stuff, and whatever you communicate as a company can have a really bad or good thing with you. So it's like that's why community manager and PR people exist, because they are trained to answer to questions and stuff. But then on the other hand, you have us devs who are super passionate, and we go on Twitter and we have our own personal Twitter. I mean, it's us who decide to show that we are working in a game. Like, I could not state anything about who I am and where I'm from and what I'm working on at which company, and nobody will ask me questions for this thing. But there's also the fact that people don't know how games are made. That's just easy as it is. Like, you don't go to the whatever sports store to complain about Nike shoes or like how they. I have no idea how shoes are made. That's just how it is. But we are the first line of contact. They're like, oh shit, I have a direct contact to a game dev. It's like anything. I could literally tweet to Dwayne Johnson today. It doesn't mean he will answer to my thing. Probably won't about his latest film. But I have this line of contact. And it's the same thing for gamers. They have a line of contact, and we are super passionate about our work. So when we have questions or anything, we try to answer. But then sometimes people slip. Sometimes you don't say something that you were supposed to say. Sometimes you just want to help, but that's not how it works. Some companies are more open about it. Like when I was at DICE, it was a thing. Like pretty much everybody could just talk back and forth on Twitter, and nobody had a training of that, which is kind of, when you look at it, it's kind of shit, because handling communities, that's why community, like I said, community manager exists, because they're trained to do so. We are not as devs. So when people get in and they start harassing you or saying that your game is shit and stuff, it's like, now you have to take a step back, because if you answer to that or get in, it's like you put more oil in the fire, basically. So it's like I can't blame people for contacting dev directly, because it's half part. The problem is half it's half our fault, basically, because we don't really say also how games are made. So people are just like, they assume that everybody works on everything. Like, oh, stop posting picture that you're taking breakfast and fix your game. It's like, well, we also eat. We're also human beings. We also do that.
Is it like kind of like a fix your game culture right now? Like I feel like companies are already like games are coming out too soon, like unready, unfinished. And I mean, I know it's always like that. There will always be work on a game. Don't get me wrong. I never expected a game coming out and it's perfect. And I don't mind if there's here or there a problem. But it more and more feels like the last years that, especially multiplayer, they're bringing out games which are just not ready to publish yet, and then it gets worse and worse, and people are more frustrated. So where is it? Are they do they need the money so badly that they need to, bring out a game after the other, even without finishing it? I mean, is it wise?
I mean, it's like, it depends on the company, I guess. It's I haven't worked in many companies, but it's not all companies have the chance of just being able to ship a game when they can ship a game. But it's like there's so many layers on that. It's like asking for more, giving less time of production, then people overscoping their project and not being able to deliver. And there's so many different layers into AAA gaming, or gaming in general, of like, at some point you have to ship. That's it. You have a date, and that's it. You committed to that date because there's the people at the top who deals with the money, and they expect the game to be shipped at that specific date.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like management and everything like this. Like I said, there's so many layers.
Yeah, so many things working together, right?
Oh yes, but like, yeah, companies are there to make money. That's the sad truth.
But would they make like less money if they bring out a game like, I mean, if they think like long term? Isn't that the question? I mean, nobody knows properly. They probably just go the safe way, I guess.
Yes and no. I mean, you can have like people who go the safe way, or people who just drop things without expectation. Seeing Apex Legend, nobody fucking knows about it, and then bang, you have that thing that came out of nowhere.
Fall Guys, the same thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like, they were not expecting that popularity. No. Now it's Among Us. It was like nothing, and now it's like so many people watching and playing that game, and it's
you've got to be lucky as well, I guess.
Oh yeah, but it's too big of a question to be answered like just right there out of the bat. I mean, like I said, companies need to make money. How do you make money? You ship games. Yeah, and then you have the quality. And the thing I always say, no game developer want to ship a bad game. there's absolutely no game dev at all in the whole fucking world who want to shape a bad game. But sometimes it's like, okay, you have to do this. Okay, it will take 1 month. Now you have 2 days. Okay, I'll try my best, and you do what you can, and then it was overscoped, and then management failed, or you have all these things basically. But one thing for sure, no devs ever want to make a bad game. That's just how it is. But it's not as easy.
How much pressure puts that on a level designer, like mentally?
Well, not as much as any other people in the industry, I guess, but a lot. A lot, I would say. It depends on the company, it depends on the project, it depends on the management. I worked in a game where like super easy. Everything was super free-flowing all the way from beginning to end, no overtime, no nothing, And then I worked in a game where you have people logging like 1,000 hours of overtime in a year, and then people collapsing on the side of me and my friends and stuff. Like I have horror stories in the industry, and that's like every dev probably has horror stories, and that's just like there's a lot of pressure. There's really really a lot of pressure to ship on time, and then it's sometimes it's not even overtime. When I ended up in a burnout and a depression, it was not even because I was doing overtime. It was just the pressure to ship quality that was so high that everything I was doing felt like it was shit, and I was told that it was shit, and I was trying my best and try more and more and more and more, and at some point I just collapsed. But yeah, that's making games is hard.
Believe that. I mean, it's so many things come together, and at the end, you're one part of it. Doesn't matter if you're important or not, but everything has to fit together, right?
Yes, and you're just a small cog in the machine, and 95% of a production, the game you're making is shit. Nothing works, everything breaks. Then at some point, there's the magic that happened, and then poof, everything works. Everything blends together, and that's. And then you ship that in a box, and you put that in the market.
How did you overcome, like, I mean, once you realized, I have a depression, and this is too much for me and all the pressure, but you always probably had the feeling once that this has to stop. Like, how did you overcome that? What did you do to get back in this positive state of mind?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I'm not exactly sure if I have overcome the whole thing yet after 3 years. Once you're broken mentally, you're pretty much broken forever. That's just how it is. Imbalance in your brain and stuff and whatever. But like, I was seeing a professional, and we talked a lot, obviously, about the things, and I learned more about myself. And on my old blog, I was writing an article about that. Like, we have 24 hours per day. There's 8 hours of work, there's 8 hours of sleep, and there's 8 hours of whatever. Sadly, the 8 hour of work normally can't really be moved, and then you can add more, like an hour before and an hour after, just for commuting. So it's more like 10 hours. And then you want to do something in your life, because working and sleeping is kind of boring, So we kind of cut in the sleeping part usually, which is kind of shit, because sleep is so important. But I basically overcame the big thing when I have realized that I really needed the 8 hour of enjoyment in my life, basically. Sleep was obviously really important, but like, I don't know, is there really someone who can sleep 8 hours straight? I don't know. For me, I can't really. Like, I usually sleep like 6, 7, I don't know, something like that. It's a luxury, really. But the 8 hour of enjoyment was what was super important. And it was really, really important when I was talking with my doctor also. That's what she was telling me, that you really need this 8 hour of enjoyment. Do something that brings you happiness. And with happiness comes all the cool things like serotonin, endorphin, like all the cool drugs, basically, that your body generates for you. And all these things were good, because when I was having my anxiety attack that I didn't know was anxiety attack, I realized that the only way for me that was good is when I was doing sports. When I was doing sports and sweating and running and stuff with my friends, I was having fun, and then all of a sudden everything was great. Um, and then I realized that after it was the same thing. And since I'm making games, playing games was not exactly the thing that would generate that much fun for me. Because I'm always analyzing the games I'm playing. That's the sad thing. I'm a professional, so I'm always looking at all the things and be like, oh, I could do that. I could do that in my next game. Or I always know that thing is bad. I should not like what. Why have they done this like this? So I started doing like I said, sports. Started climbing or something like this. I was doing sport with my friend. I was spending time outside. I was walking the wood, nature, all these things, and then basically it helped me recuperate. And then also the joy of looking for a new work, a new job, basically, kind of gave me hope. Because like I said earlier, I was like, I think I would just quit the industry. I'm done. Like it led me to this point. There's no way back. But then after the curve going down and going up again, I was like, no, that's probably not right. I should try something else. So I applied everywhere, and when I arrived at DICE, it was that was a big leap of faith, but that helped me also. Like this new thing, this new life, this new country, new language, new people, new way of living, new job, new all the things. Like as humans, normally, like having something new is exciting. That gives a lot of happiness. So that also helped quite a lot.
Yeah, totally understand. Like, I feel like, I mean, having a few breakdowns myself, like, after you like kind of can leave it a little bit behind and looking from retrospective, you realize, because you said in the beginning, like once you had it, it's never over, and then you feel like now it's a process. It basically just starts something new. You can like it's you can see it from the negative way and say like, okay, I had a breakdown, everything is fucked up, or you can see it from a perspective like, okay, I was missing something and I need more. Like 8 hours of sleep, sport, meditation, carving, whatever it is. So the question would be for me, like, when I'm overwhelmed, I have this habit of breathing. Like I just, wherever I am, I'm in the car, or I just feel like I'm stressed about something, and I have a monkey mind. You know what a monkey mind is? Everything is yeah. So I have a monkey mind, and then I realize, okay, I'm having a monkey mind, and I feel like my breathe is like flat, and I'm stressing myself. And then I just try to turn around and, okay, now I just breathe in like 10 times, whatever, deep in, deep out, and everything is better. So this is kind of my habit of overcoming, like when I feel like unfocused, overwhelmed, whatever. Do you have something like that for you?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You just said, when you realize that you're past that point, like you and me and all the others. Now I know when it happens. So normally I will just go have a walk, go like just change my mind basically. Because it's been happening like last week for no reason. I was really feeling weird. I went to the barber. That was the sad part though. I could not really have a walk. But like I was feeling that I was having another anxiety attack or something. But for no freaking reason, I was sitting at the barber and it was super quiet and everything. It was super nice. But normally when I can, I don't know. I just go have a walk, a glass of water, think about something else, look at the wood behind my place, and just listen to the wind or something like that. Just something that can sort of like trick your mind into thinking about something else. Basically, this is all subconscious, because when I'm probably the same thing for you, but like when I'm having an anxiety attack or a surge or something, I'm not like, it's not forced or anything. I don't even know why it's happening. So I just know now that you cannot just force it out. You just take it in, I guess. And how I solve it normally, I just go have a walk or something, go do something else. Like now with work from home, it's even easier. When it happens and I'm in front of my computer, I just fuck up somewhere else and I do something, and I come back at some point, and it's fun. You know, that's how I cope with it, basically.
That's I think that's very important. Like everyone has to find this out for themselves, I guess. But I feel the first step is awareness, and what helps me also is like sometimes stepping out of myself and trying to look at myself from the outside perspective. Um, Actually, funny. I just was reminded of a story I had. It was like 12 years ago, actually, with a friend when I was still a student, and she's she's from Eastern Europe, and she's always like a very passionate woman, you could say, like loud and passionate woman. Like, and every time something did go wrong in work, she was like the first time like jumping in, and like she's a fighter type of girl. And then so I was still smoking. We were going for a smoke, and she looked at me like, I don't know how you do it. Why are you always so calm? Why can you be so calm in that situation? I mean, he was a fucking ass or something like that. And I looked at her and I realized I decided once, I don't know even when, that if I have a situation, where people are engaging and stress about something, whatever it is, I always ask myself this question, yeah, like how would I think about this story, which is like right in front of me in 10 years? Does it matter? And I bet with you, like 95%, this situation don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fight for nothing. It's stress for nothing. So this is how I basically can step away from the situation and just say like, well, it's go for it, have
Yeah.
fun. And it really helped me over time a lot. Well, sometimes ignore situation, I feel, is the best to stay healthy, I guess, for yourself, for your own sake.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm happy that people are fighting the good fights on all facets of life. Everyone has their own struggle, and yeah, I mean, I'm I'm fighting my own fights for what I believe in, for example. But yeah, sure, it takes awareness to just realize that not all fights are worth fighting for, I guess. Uh, some people love being stressed in that way, maybe. I have friends like that. They would go in and everything and stuff. And I think I was maybe like that before, but yeah, when you collapse once, now you're aware that this thing exists. And you're like, oh, okay, shit. So how can I not do that again? So now you see the patterns and you see the signs and everything, and you just like, okay, now I will let it go. That is cool. Don't need to stress about that. But I can probably understand maybe some people, it's their way of coping with other things, and some people like me before, I was just not aware at all that I could, like, I would never imagine like depression. I can't have that. Like, why would I have that? Up until the time when it arrives and it just slaps you in the face, basically. And now you're aware that it is a thing. I guess we all learn the hard way, basically.
Absolutely. I normally do things twice wrong before I learn.
Yes, like I always say.
I think like why couldn't I have learned it first time? Now I need to do it a second time.
Because the experience is the beautiful thing that makes you realize that you made the same mistake twice. That is experience.
But I think there's really so much power in getting out of this frustration mode. Like especially if I relate that to gaming, what I see the most is if you're playing with people who are waging a lot. And I think if you have this mindset of stepping out of the problem and getting into a solution mode, it's so much more fun to play actually games. Like, I mean, let's just say we are talking about a standard situation multiplayer games, like, okay, these campers. And I think like, well, I love campers. I know where they are. Just get there, I mean, do something. There are always ways to kill campers. At least you know where they are. You can see it in a positive way. But no, most of the time we are going straight in and stressing ourselves more than, I mean, can you change the situation? Yes or no? If you can, do it. That's the only job you have to do.
Absolutely, but it's not easy for everyone. Not everyone is solution oriented. And it's fine. I mean, there's people who are just there to complain, and that's good because I never complain, and the world is like not moving forward a lot because of me because I just never complain. I see the same thing at work. Because you have the people who are their glass is all full. You have the people who are their glass is half empty. My glass is always full. You know, I'm the third person. Like I just everything is always fine. But with people like me, nothing fucking change because everything is fun. You know.
Well, there is actually something to it when you say it. Like, I mean, we need the contrast in life also to grow, whatever that means. You know, it has to be painful sometimes in order to get better, right?
Absolutely.
There's something on it. I mean, um, I have actually another question. Like, how I see you so far, because I know right now at Ubisoft, maybe you can tell us a little bit about. You're a team leader right now. You have a higher position now. You're, um, yeah, right. Does everyone know here, by the way, what an AA level gamer, senior level game designer is? I don't even know this title. It's always confusing me. So tell us a little bit about maybe first, what is that? What are your things? What are you doing? How are you leading the team? And what's
Well,
next
right
for
now,
you when you're doing that?
right now I'm an associate director, and well, the AAA is because I work in the AAA industry basically. I'm not making indie game. But yeah, that's really interesting right now because of COVID and everything. This is a new position, but I'm a manager, so basically I always joke that I'm not doing anything anymore. My goal is to be surrounded by people who knows how to do things, and I'm really grateful for that because I have an amazing team. But yeah, I mean that's like how can I describe my job without saying anything because of my current position at the current company that I am. Um, Basically my role as an associate director is to just make sure that all the component of the game that I'm in charge follow the creative direction basically. I'm not doing it myself, my teams or team of teams are doing so, and basically I just overlook the thing and make sure that everything goes along. um, I'm not a micromanager because I had to deal with that before in the past, and I hate it so much. Um, so I really overlook things. I'm not the type of guy who will go over the shoulder of my people every day and be like, "Oh, what are you doing today? Oh, what are you doing today?" You know, every day and stuff. I don't do that because that's freaking annoying, and I'm really happy that the people I work with also are really happy about it. Um, so yeah, I just really basically overlook a lot of things, but I'm also a manager, so you know, I care for my people. I want to make sure that they're happy, and I give them job that I feel that they will be happy to work on. And I ask, it's a constant communication to make sure that like basically everybody's happy. You know, it's not always the case because you have sad part of games that you have to do sometimes, and it's not the most fun, but it has to be done. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. It sounds not like a lot right now, but that's a lot of work because I own a lot of things in the games that I'm doing, basically. So I'm just saying, like, basically, if we fail, it's because of me, and if we win, it's because of my team. So yep, the world needs more leader and less boss. Basically, that's my strong belief.
What's the difference?
Boss empower themselves, leaders empower their peers. That for me, that's a big difference. And I'm the second. I really don't care about myself. I really care about my guys, basically. I don't. I'm really human in that way. It's super important for me that all my teams and people are happy, and I mentor the people I can, and the senior people in my team, I just move them forward. And my goal is to just make sure that everybody in my team will grow, basically. I don't, yeah, exactly, like in the chat, leader lead by example. I don't comment people. I don't tell them what to do. I guide them into finding the answers themselves, and I ask them how they want to do things. Basically, like I'm as a designer, I'm not pushing my ideas on them. I'm taking their ideas and I'm guiding them into the creative direction of the game. I work with people who were pushing ideas into people. These are not leaders. And yeah, sure, it can still make a good game. It's just freaking annoying to work for. And I don't want to do that myself.
Like a really big damn, what's the word? I don't even know the word in German now. Stupid.
I don't know German. That'll be hard.
I feel like in the industry that many people are leaving the jobs very often. Like they're developing in one game and then they are leaving to the next company. Is that true, or is it just my personal view?
It depends. It changes a lot, but I think that's the thing now. Like, it takes 3 to 5 years to make a game. So yeah, there's a lot of people when they're done with one game, they just leave because, well, they spent like 3 to 5 years making that game, so they just want to see something else. When I was at Ubisoft back home, I stayed for 10 years. I didn't move away from Ubisoft because I was angry or anything. I just wanted to see something new. Because every company worked differently. So changing companies is also really good for you as an employee because you see a different way of making games. So it's not like badly viewed or anything. Obviously, if you look at someone and that person has worked at 13 different companies in 13 years, maybe it's a problem. But, it's like, yeah, 3, 4, 5 years, something like that. People change, and you have the people who just stay at the same company forever, which is not too bad either. But yeah, people don't leave. Like what's the saying? People don't leave companies; they leave manager or something like that. It's kind of true. I left DICE because I didn't find the job I was given interesting. It was not because like DICE was bad or anything. DICE is an amazing company. It's really cool to work for DICE. And it was the opportunity at Ubisoft that I wanted to go. I basically wanted to come back to Ubisoft also. So I applied. I left Ubisoft because I wanted to see something else. Larian didn't work well. I ended up in a burnout. I wanted to change my whole life, and I ended up in Sweden. People change companies sometimes because they want to see something else. People leave company because sometimes they are really badly treated. People leave companies. There's all these different reasons, but people change a lot in the industry.
Actually, a good thing. I mean, you also grow a lot, right? I mean, especially in an industry where it's like working with a lot of new software. Everything gets developed so fast these days. And if you want to stay like vivid in between the job, you probably need to learn and gain more experience like every day. Need to be willing to learn as well, right?
Absolutely.
And I think it's also probably easier for your inner peace if you are, again, not too attached, right, to your one project. Like, I mean, of course, go full in, giving everything properly is a good advice you could give somebody who ever works in whatever industry you're working in. But don't be too much attached because then, yeah, it could break you, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's one good way of really going straight into a burnout if you take stuff, like I said before, way too personally, or if you just keep holding on your things. Sometimes you just, if I ask my guys to change something, I will usually have a reason to do so. And I ask them the same thing. If they design something and I ask them why they've done it and they don't have any reason, I would probably ask them to just remove that thing. If there's no reason to be, just don't do it. We need to make games into like I said earlier, it's hard and it has to be done quick-ish. So you cut where you can cut.
What do you think about, like, wouldn't that be useful for your industry as well? I don't know actually which company that was, but I heard of a company which had like a five day work week, and on one day of the work they could do whatever they want to do. Like they had one day where they can basically do whatever they do during working hours, and the reason was so. Let's just say they will design another map level, whatever, which doesn't matter maybe in your case, but they still learn something and they do something for the pressure. Maybe something else will develop out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Oh, it's really cool.
Waste of time or?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know obviously Google does that on Friday. They can
That's
work
gonna
on
be great.
their personal
Yeah.
project and stuff. We had that thing at DICE too. I think it was once a month. We could do whatever we wanted on Friday or every 3 weeks or something like this. Um, it's good. It's good also to just just change your mind a little bit and stuff. It's good, if you can just even be like doing research and play games on your work time because it's related and things like it's obviously yes, it's really good. Whatever that is,
What are
just something that is related,
sorry,
basically.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are bad recommendations you hear very often in your industry?
It's sort of related to what I said before with the open mindset. Um, it's super important to want to learn. Um, change like game change so fast. How we make game change so fast. There's all these different technicalities and how this is done and how this is this and that. But there's also that's why I always want to hire new people because they have the flame. They're happy to be there. They're not broken yet. They want to do something new. They want they have this hype and stuff. And then you have the old people like me or the others, and they're like, we've been doing that way for 10 years. It works. No need to change. That sucks. So even people with experience, like people should have a more open mind. Yeah, don't get attached to your things. Have an open mind. Um, talk, obviously. Video game is a teamwork. Some people forget that sometimes. It's a big teamwork. And then when I say big, it's big. Like I worked with thousands of people on one game across the world. Communication is super, super important. And as a designer, it's one of the key soft skills that you can have.
Do you
Because
even learn that?
do you even learn that?
Yeah, because I mean, that's the one thing I think we as humans fail the most. It's
Yeah.
communication.
Oh, it's a never-ending process. You can always communicate more, I think. You can always communicate better also because communicating more doesn't mean it's better. When you start spamming people with email, you're kind of losing the thing because people would just not read what you're writing, for example. But yeah, communicating more and better. This is so important. Yeah, because it's a teamwork, and especially as a designer, you have to be able to, sell your design basically. And it's for maybe more introvert people sometimes, or people with lack of communication skill. It's really hard to be a designer because part of it is just you have to sell your thing, and if you can't really communicate why your design is good, that might be a problem. So yeah, this is another really really important thing to have. Obviously, there's probably a lot more. I could probably talk about that for a long time. Just really not coming to my head right now.
Can you tell me the one thing where you're better than anyone else?
That I'm better than anyone else.
What's your one thing which makes you better than anyone else?
Making people happy.
That's a good switch. I wanted to talk about positivity.
Yeah, I know, but that's like I think it is. Funnily enough, I don't know. I have it in me. People usually laugh around me, and I got told that in the past that I was like the sunshine of the team and whatever cheesy freaking word that you can use. And the more I got told that, the more I realized that it was true, and the more I wanted to kind of focus on that thing. I strongly believe that I'm not the best level designer that ever existed, far from it. But I'm a really, really good team person. And now as a manager, I'm really happy because I can really shine through that thing with team building stuff. And I always say to my team that we're the best team and this and that. And, I compliment people and, whatever, little details here and there. But like usually people end meetings with smiles on their face and stuff like that. So I think it helps. Happy designer create good games.
No, I forgot my question.
You were talking about
Yeah,
positive
positivity.
mindset. Yes.
I would like to know, like, when and why, like, your name, Jeff the Respector, in case, guys, I don't know if you all followed him on Twitter. His name is Jeff the Respector.
It used to be.
Exactly. So, um, can you tell me the story about the name and
Well,
how you
it
came up
was
with that?
it was super funny because obviously I'm always promoting positivity and respect and whatever, the thing that is really lacking on the internet. And I don't remember why, but I was like, well, I had with my other Twitter account that I had like 4,000 followers before I deleted it. Like people were happy to follow me because I was always spreading positivity and stuff and whatever. Like I said, the thing that is really lacking on the internet, especially on Twitter. And yeah, there's someone who tweeted like, you should rename yourself Dr. Respect because of Dr. Disrespect. And I was like, yeah, that would be a little bit too much, I think, to be like the thing. Like, he has a brand, he's absolutely huge and stuff. So I was just fiddling about that thing, and I was like, well, the Respector. Like, you have the Punisher, and then you have the Respector. So I was like, yeah, cool. I could do that. That's a cool name, I think.
The superhero for positivity.
Yeah, exactly. That's my superpower. So yeah, I'm just like I said earlier. My glass is always full. I'm super optimist. Way too much, probably. Way too much. But yeah, I don't know. It brings happiness to the people around me. So why the fuck not?
I think we need more of these, actually.
Maybe.
When you started the thing, like, did anything change for you, like connecting through the online world in another way?
You mean when I started like spreading positivity or something?
Yeah.
Well, not really. I just realized that I was starting to have like quite a followers people on Twitter, and I was like, why not? I would just start spreading cool stuff. And like, remember that you're amazing, or like whatever I was writing. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it didn't really change anything. It was just fun. But I saw that people were enjoying that because it's so rare on social media. And even if like there were some people probably wrote like if I recall correctly that like it was too cheesy or like it was such a beta move, like whatever the fuck these people, fucking dudes on the internet, like it's not alpha to be positive, you know. But like I don't remember exactly, but I just saw like I could I could make someone happy just by posting a thing. It doesn't take long. It takes 1 minute to write something. But nobody does it. It's kind of weird. Like it literally takes a minute to just spread positivity. Just go on someone's channel with arts and just write that their art is beautiful. It doesn't take anything, and that person would be happy. So I started doing that a lot, and then I realized that some people started doing it also, which I was like, whoa, that's cool. Okay, it's spreading. And I saw people like who were sad or in depression. It was like, oh, I'm so happy every day I can see a little thing from you, Jeff, or anything. And when I rejoined Twitter, like 2 months ago, I think, or 3 months,
Yeah.
people realized that I was back, and they wrote to me like, oh, I'm so happy you're back. Like people were happy that I was back on Twitter just because of the positivity I was bringing before, which I have never expected. Like someone wrote like, oh, you made my day. You're back on Twitter. I'm like, shit, dude, I'm just a normal guy. There's nothing special about me, But I'm happy that I made your day because I'm back on Twitter. That's cool, I guess, So that's what I saw that was coming out of this, basically. And I guess yes, if more people would do it, that would probably be just better, right? I don't see any negativity in that.
I think it's so much easier these days to talk about negative stuff than bringing up positive stuff.
Well, negativity brings clicks. People want to see the edginess. People want to see blood. People want to see. They want to see the unseen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's always the thing. You remember a lot of bad shit. You remember good stuff, but you remember a lot of bad shit in your life. It's just that's probably how a human works. I'm not an anthropologue, but it's just how it is. Like you look at the newspaper, and the good news are rare because that doesn't sell. People don't want to look at cool stuff. I guess that's just how it is. It's not just on the internet. The internet is just an amplifier, basically. So yeah, I'm trying with my little self to at least bring some positivity around me, because you don't have to look far to find bad news.
Yeah.
But if you go to Google and you write like good news of the day, it's way harder to find. Interestingly enough, just writing like I wanted to do that at some point. I wanted to create a blog to spread good news, and Jesus, it was so hard.
By the
to
way, I
find
was
good
so
news.
sad. You had a blog once, right?
Yes.
Yes, because I found your page and I heard from Fergan before, like that you had a blog, and then I looked for it, and then Fergan said to me, like, "Oh yeah, he took it down." I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
took it down." I'm pretty sure you wrote down so many awesome stuff there.
I'm a super impulsive guy, and I was like, all right, let's remove everything, and I deleted my blog. And then a lot of people were writing to me in the level design community, like, "Hey Jeff, I was trying to look at this and this article you wrote, and I can't find it anymore." And I was like,
did you delete like really everything, like even on your computer? There's nothing left.
It was not on my computer, so yeah, it's just gone. That was really bad. Sorry about that, people.
Blog about though? Was it like basically like you're telling everything about your struggles within the gaming industry and your personal struggles, or?
Yeah, I was writing about like my passion, level design, my life in Sweden in general, whatever thing. I'm gonna get a go at it again. I will see. I don't know. I'm always doing 1 billion things. Fear gun. I don't know. She's probably
Could it be,
that.
could it be that this is the kind of mindset actually that brought you that far?
Yes,
I mean, like,
absolutely. Yes, because I always, yes, I go for it. When I have an idea in mind, I really go for it. And I'm really impulsive on that way. If I really want something, if I really want to do something, I will do it. And when I do something, I do it like 500%. And that's probably why I'm in Sweden now, because I was like, yep, I want to get somewhere else from Quebec, Canada. Where could I go? I love Sweden. I lived here 8 years ago for a couple of months. Yeah, could be cool. Let's go. I leave everything behind and I moved to Sweden alone. It's that's my type of things, I guess.
You learned from? Like, where did you think you learned that from? Like, I mean, is it something you just brought with you, or did you had any experience like before you started as a game tester? Like this mindset, did you build it up, or is it just a character thing, or
I think it's like
anything to do with that?
I think we're like that. I have a twin sister, and she's pretty much the same to some extent. She always wants to do new things, and she goes for it, and she puts everything that she has in it. And I do the same thing. That's why I always do like 1 billion different things, because I put myself 100% in that, and then I jump on something new, and then I jumped on something new, and yeah, that's. I think I just always been like this. But then there was this unfortunate event in my life that made me realize that I should even be more like that, and more like live the day that you're living in, because you never know. I was basically how many years? It was 4 years ago, I think. The terrorist attack in Brussels airport with the bomb. Like I was there an hour before the bomb exploded. And when I landed, basically, I had so many messages from my friends and families asking me if I was right, and I was like, why? And then I checked the news and I saw that, and I was like, wow, shit! I was literally there, So I was like, it's like when you close to these things, you start thinking differently, because I could have been there like an hour before. The bomb could have exploded an hour before, and I was literally standing or sitting or whatever where it exploded. So since that day, I was like, yeah, okay, just fucking do whatever you want to do, just do it, That thing came after, but I think I was always a little bit like that.
So live life to the fullest?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like just go for what you believe in. And just do your things. It's yeah. I took a leap of faith coming to Sweden. I took more leap of faith in my life before, and I don't really regret anything. I don't have time for that. Just go for it.
I mean, you know this quote like hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life.
Yeah.
And many times I think like people are so afraid of making a choice at all that they go for the easy choice instead of going for the hard choice because they're afraid they could fail.
Yes. Absolutely.
And by going like more the way you go, it's not about failing, it's about going.
Yeah. It's also like I don't know. It's the excitement. I can't expect everyone to be like that. But it's the excitement. I'm not afraid of the unknown as a person. I'm not a conservative person in my life. Like I don't want to do the same thing again and again and again, having a routine or something like that. It's really not me. So I will always want to try new things and stuff like this. But it's fine that there are some people who just want to do their thing and do the same thing over and over again. Like my father is like that. My parents are like that, really, to some extent. So I don't know why I'm like who I am, but yeah, it's you miss all the shots you don't take, So I try to take as much shot as I can, basically.
But especially then, I feel taking what you said before, like within the day, taking this break and the time sometimes to not falling in this struggle of I have to run, I have to run, I have to move, I have to do something, I have to do something. No, I stop what I'm doing sometimes and just come back to myself and listen to my inner self. And this is such a powerful thing to do, I think.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine to do absolutely nothing. It's not like, oh shit, like, oh, I need to have joy. I need to have joy for 8 hours per day. No, don't put yourself the stress of trying to be happy 8 hours per day. That's the thing I also learned when I was with my professional, when I was talking, when I was in burnout, and I was like, oh, but I have to go do this tonight and stuff because and she was like, no, no, that's the wrong way of seeing things. You don't have to do anything. If tonight you feel like doing absolutely jack shit, just do jack shit, and that's fine.
But at least go full in.
Yeah, exactly. Like
whatever you do.
Yeah, that's
enjoy the moment.
For me, it works. That's the thing, right? Everybody's different. Yeah. For me, it works. Some people just want to touch little things, and that's fine. Just do little things here and there, and then chill the rest of the day or whatever. That's fine. For some people, happiness means doing nothing, or reading a little book or something like that, and that's cool. For me, it's like, yeah, sometimes it's reading a book, sometimes it's playing games, sometimes it's carving wood, sometimes it's playing bass, sometimes it's going climbing, sometimes I could go on forever with all the example because I do so many different things, but that's what works for me. Moral of the story, like just find what makes you happy and just go for it.
Yeah, by the way, next time I come to Sweden, take me climbing.
Okay. I haven't climbed in quite some time, but sure.
Me neither.
I could.
No, I'm still missing you guys. It was really amazing over there. I have one last question for you.
Yes.
If you could put a gigantic billboard in front of Stockholm with your personal message to whoever is seeing that, what would that be?
Bring happiness to the world, I guess. That would be the simplest way. That would be that, probably. It's just like I said before. Everybody, like seriously, you have 2 kids and there's a lot of really, really buzzy people in the world, but it takes a minute to write to someone and say like whatever cool things. Everybody can do that. I'm pretty sure. There's so much like scroll Twitter 1 less minute per day and write a message to someone you care 1 minute per day. That's really easy. Everybody can do that, and I'm sure the world would be a happier place if everybody was doing the same this thing basically. I think I would do that probably. Just bring happiness to the world. It could be cool, I guess.
Definitely. I think actually, if you're open to that, like each day, just to have this one moment of bringing happiness to somebody else, if you would live it like a habit, I think actually everything would change around you. Like people would see you differently as well and would react differently to you as well because they know this positive energy is coming around, you know?
No, exactly. I mean, it has happened to me, a random person on the internet writing happiness stuff. So why wouldn't it see why it would not like happen to anybody else? Not be a creep, obviously. Just write cool things about people. That's fine, you know.
Don't be a creep. Did you have any experience with that?
No, but that's the internet, you know. There's some way of saying things, so it could be, don't go to a person photograph and be like, oh, you're super hot or something. That's not exactly what I'm
okay, that's
talking
not
about.
the same positivity. I see. Okay.
See,
I think
that's
I
not
don't do that
exactly.
then. I do
No,
that.
exactly. That's
Okay.
not exactly what I'm
If I
talking
do that
about.
tomorrow, though, you know why I'm doing that.
That's fine. You can't blame me.
Oh, Jeff, you look good today.
Thanks. See, but that thing works. That thing's it's not creepy at all. That's fine. I think in my book. But yeah, I do that all the time at work when I talk with my colleague and stuff. I tell everyone that they're beautiful and beautiful smile today and whatever. Especially in Sweden, like people are like, huh? They're kind of they're not sure. It's like they're kind of happy. I think they're inside. They're just not sure what happened. They're like, oh, what? But I'm so not Swedish, so I can pull this card. Oh, we
Yeah, you can
Canadian.
can just go for it. Well, I'm
Yeah.
Canadian. That's
No, exactly.
That's me.
We're just a bunch of cool guys, so just like appreciate our cool guyness.
Is there anything you think I missed basically asking you doing this podcast where you feel like this is something?
I don't think so. I mean, we could talk for hours, probably.
I know
but,
we could talk for hours, but I think we are reaching the end right now.
Yeah, we talked a lot when you were in Sweden anyway. So
yeah.
no, I don't think so. I didn't even knew what was the I knew that it was like probably about positivity and stuff and whatever. But for once, I was kind of happy to not only talk about my work because I always just talk like. I know your podcast is like the 4th or 5th podcast that I participated, and it's obviously always about level design because that's who I am. But that was a bit different, so it was cool.
Yeah, it was actually also difficult for me because I kind of heard all of them, and I was like, okay, how can I ask the questions which they didn't ask? How can I get away from that? And try to get the connection for the normal person. So this is kind of difficult for me as well. So I hoped I did a good job today.
Amazing, yes.
Guys, you in the chat, do you have any question left to Jeff? Otherwise, we will call it a night. We will upload this episode again on YouTube. So you can hear it later.
Nice.
Yes.
I'll be able to share it. That's cool.
Yeah, of course. We will also, by the way, very soon have channels on BuzzFeed or iTunes. So if you just want to listen again to a podcast, if you miss it and you don't want to watch it like here on Twitch, you won't just want to listen to it, you can do that as well. We will post the links for these probably after the next podcast. We have to get everything in order first for that, but we try to reach out now on more channels. We really hope you enjoy this podcast. Guys, if you have any other topic you want to talk about or you want us to find a guest for that, no problem. Just DM us, guys. We're always open to find other topics and talk about other things. Well, I really hoped we could have an impact today to you guys. I think Jeff is an amazing person, and I really
thank you.
Well, you are, and I hope we spread some positivity here tonight, and made you smile, guys, and you could learn something.
Yes, spend 1 minute of your day, bring happiness to someone.
Yeah,
everybody should do this. Yes, I'm on a mission.
A mission, positivity mission.
Exactly. Yes.
Alrighty, Joe, are you here? Where is Joe? Oh, us to Joe. Waffle, Jim, thank you so much for being here. Kim, all of you guys. Have a beautiful night. Thanks, Vance, for being here. Who did I miss here? Did I miss anyone who joined in here? There you go. All right, guys, have a good night and see you next week.
Bye.
Is that Merkel? That is Merkel, right?